Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Quick look at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. Happy Friday to you. Again, don't forget to hit the like button before we get started. I want to say something really quick here and kind of just throw out this really nice little pattern that's forming out here. Again, I didn't just draw this out. If you want to kind of verify or validate, if you saw my video from yesterday, you'll know. We're expecting the price action to essentially bounce off this 61,100 mark, but initially reject off 61.8 because that is that key level resistance here in this current range. We can see that happening almost exactly here at this point. Obviously no chart is exact, but for the most part you can see the price comes up to this level here at 61.8, rejects a lot sooner than expected, but also comes down to bounce off this key fib level, this 0.382. So you can't make this up, folks. This is absolutely the standard trading 101. And essentially what we're looking for here is a retest this 61.8 and a continuation further from there. That could actually be the beginning of a cup and handle type of pattern that we're seeing here play out. So again, cool stuff, absolutely awesome. Let's take a look at the backend data, kind of see where we're at here first with liquidation levels. Let's go ahead and refresh the page, make sure we're good to go. What we like to look at for liquidation, just to kind of see if there's any local highs, essentially. I'm sure there's some liquidation just above 61.8 that may have to be a little concerned here with getting swept. We look here a little closer, we're looking at about, basically 62,000, 62.5. Right in that range there, we can see some upper liquidation. That's just above the more local high. So as far as 618 is concerned, there's really not too much there unless we zoom into the 12 hour. This is effectively the last 7 days. And on the right hand side too, we can see here last 30 days, we're kind of in this little bit of a range here. We got some liquidation between 62.3 and 63.3, but that's just kind of a resistance area there. There's maybe about 10 to 20 billion above the price action. Okay, so we're getting closer to that than we are this lower level, so that could imply we see further upside here. Keep in mind 61,800 breaking above that would be an important thing. The good news is we did close above that 60,000.8 mark, so 60,800 essentially yesterday. So that gave me some confirmation and some good feelings going into today's trading day, or going into the evening rather, not having to worry about closing our long position. We're really close to break even right now on our current longs, so just to give you perspective, holding that so far, that level at 60,000 is held pretty well. If we look at liquidation here though on the back end data, we can see we still have over 9 billion as our delta here for liquidation shorts. So there's way more shorts in the market than there is longs. So that just basically implies that they got a target on the back too. You got to keep that in mind. Yesterday felt like a bear trap, and I think we're starting to see that continuation work out to be that, exactly that. Again, this just kind of reaffirms open interest is still roughly the most at about 62,000. So we have the most open positions at 62K, whether they're long or short, hard to say specifically, but at this point, that's a good sign. That's very positive. So daily time frame, let's work our way down, kind of see where we're at here and go from there. So when we come to moving averages here, we are starting to get back on track, so to speak. We stayed and maintained above the 50 and the 100-day SMA. Now we're trending towards the 20 and the 200. So keep in mind we got that point of control at 63,000. So I don't think that the price is just going to blast straight through there today. We may see a retest at 63K, but if so, an initial rejection would make the most sense. We can also recognize too, if we look at the bigger picture here, we're retesting 50 on the RSI, kind of reaffirms that resistance range that we're coming into at 63,000, that 62 to 63K. We got our money flow index pulling back. That's been pulling back for a while, but today we're starting to see it taper off with more money flowing back in. We can also see stochastic is swinging up there. We got a convergence. So generally speaking, the bottom is in here for the moment. Now we don't want to get too hasty with longs, but the general consensus is that the market's looking pretty strong right now, and it's a good little recovery here. We had that double doji candle on the bottom. I mentioned that to my community yesterday with the doji candle forming at the time. So we basically had 2 days of indecision. So that's what those doji candles tell you. And basically what that just says is that, hey, the price action opened and closed at the exact same point, even though it fluctuated a lot. So in the smaller time frames, you can kind of see the shenanigans. The price it's like a heartbeat monitor. The price just keeps going up and down. But it did that for 48 hours straight, and now we're seeing recovery. That's a very standard thing. Okay. So again, I'm glad we weren't any late shorts yesterday at 60,000. It looked very tempting, but I'm glad we all held off and didn't take those kind of trades, because at this point it does look like we want to recover. So that's the daily time frame. It's looking a lot better. We're not fully bullish at all, but we're trending towards it. Okay. 4 hour time frame. We can see we've broken above the 20-day SMA. That's a very, very strong indication. Closing over 61.8 today would be super huge. It's roughly where we're at right now. We do take a look, of course, at the back-end data here, or sorry, not back-end, but more so the oscillators, essentially. They're just kind of letting us know that we're under 50 on the RSI still, so we haven't truly broken out yet. But once again, we break free from this tentative cup and handle, or just in general this range that we're in. That would be an important thing, because again, we can see the low based on 4-hour closures at 60,000 even, upwards of 61,800. So again, we're in that range still. Until we break that range, we're not totally out of the woods yet, okay? So just keep that in mind. MACD is converging here, which is very nice. Our TSI is up over 0. We got a lot of good reasons why a long position makes more sense than a short. However, I would say that breaking free from this range would probably be the bigger catalyst there for us, kind of helping us understand that, hey, we're good to go there. And we don't, when I say break free from the range, I don't mean just like this and this. That doesn't work. It cannot be a candle wick that's like super aggressive. It can basically be, or should be, a closure for at least, just say 2 or 3 candlesticks above that level. That's when you feel better. So I know it's tough to want to wait for that, because that requires patience, and patience isn't a strong suit for most traders. But in the big picture, you'll start to realize how important it is. So, whatever it takes to get you there, it's all good. But let's go ahead and look at the hourly here and just see how we're looking here. We're still under the cloud, or within the cloud. So generally, again, construed as a, here, actually, let me rewind here and put this back up here. The reason why I had that on the charts in the first place, again, is because when you wait for the Ichimoku cloud to be cleared, basically the price action clear of it, that's when you want to consider entry. So again, hypothetically, the price goes sideways and down a little bit, 61.1 would still be a solid consideration for entry, because that would put us in a position where we're free and clear of the cloud. However, you got to recognize the lag and spend is also free of the price action. Conversion is the baseline. We've got 2.5 reasons here out of 3 to basically warrant a long position, and that long positions are much more viable than taking a short at this point. Keep in mind the macro trend is still moderately bearish, at least for the short term. So I would recognize the fact that we're not fully good, if that's the right way to say it. And at this point, we just kind of got to make sure we pump the brakes a little bit. But I'm leaning more towards the weekend being solid and green. If we can close, just say in this current range or higher, I'd prefer a 62,000 or higher. That'd definitely put us in a good place. But if we close, just say in the current range of 61.1 upwards of 61.8, that would be okay as well, because we'd be on the right side of the tracks. We'd be above our local point of control here. We'd be in much better shape. While we hadn't, we wouldn't have that confirmation, we'd be almost there, and that would be a very good sign. So as you can see, altcoins respond pretty well to Bitcoin, pulling its head out of its ass, basically. So again, it's looking like a pretty solid day here. I'm going to still have a lot of analysis ahead of us, but generally speaking, at this point, Bitcoin's on the verge of greatness. I would just maybe recommend waiting until today's candlestick closes. We're looking for a closure at 61,100 or higher. That's still the consensus. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. I'll post our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord as per usual. Make sure you take advantage of Bitunix's exclusive offer. They have a deposit bonus this month, so link down below for that. If you've already used my link to register, you're automatically eligible, but you have to use my link to qualify. So again, it's just part of our community. Really cool opportunity there. Once more, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, jump on over there if you want to have access to just consistent updates throughout the day. All right, folks, I look forward to working with you. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Thanks for your time. Take care.